Semper Fi, motherfucker!
After recently playing the newly released Doom game, which was amazing by the way, I thought I'd rewatch the mixed at best Doom movie released back in 2005. Now, it's hard to try and defend this film. Those who watched it early on were most likely fans of the video game series, but even those people, myself included, would find it a hard task to try and find some positives. Do you need to like the video games or know anything about them before watching this? No. Is it faithful to the Doom games of old? No, not really. But does it make up for that by providing a rewarding overall story? I'm afraid, no again. The story has practically nothing to do with the original games. I felt the film was a massive disappointment. Its cast is the film's best aspect, with Karl Urban, Rosamund Pike and Dwayne Johnson aka The Rock being pretty much the only three characters to get any meaningful dialogue or backstory. And even then it's mostly just Karl Urban's character John Grimm, or Reaper, who gets the most attention. Now the film's plot takes place at a remote scientific research station situated on Mars. A level 5 quarantine has broken out as all research and communique coming from the station have completely failed. The only ones allowed access to that quarantine zone in order to neutralise any possible threat are the Rapid Response Tactical Squad, a set of hardened Marines armed with enough firepower to take out anything that crosses their path. Now, I've got no problem with that setup, it's nothing new and that's fine. But as the first Doom film, it could have at least tried to extend its vision towards a hell portal or something. This acts more like a serious sci-fi horror film with an infection breaking loose more than anything else. There's no portal into Hell's Realm, heck there's only about 3 to 4 different demons in the whole bloody film. Zombies, a pinky, imps and what tries to be a Hell Knight. All of them are watered down lesser versions of their true selves. And even then, 1 or 2 of those that I've just named only appear for a brief moment or so. And as well, the CGI ain't all that great either, and they try to hide that by keeping the main demon in the darkness for the most part. I will say though that the film towards the beginning does try to build a sense of tension, as we, the viewer at the time, still have no clue of what caused this quarantine to begin with. It works for a little while as the Marines carefully scoured the facility room by room, but it quickly became stale as it felt like each of them, even though separated, were guarding the same 4 hallways time after time again. So what the hell did happen at this place? We learnt that the scientists there were uncovering an archaeological dig and they found human remains that housed a very unique trait. The human cell is made up of 23 pairs of chromosomes. Well, these guys have 24. This extra strand, C24, enhanced practically all of a human's abilities. It gave super strength, super healing, and super speed. And Reaper's sister Samantha was one of the main scientists trying to uncover more of its secrets. But unfortunately, there was a downside, and it seemed some of the higher-ups had bypassed plenty of the precautions and began injecting people directly with this C24. Now that would result in either 1 or 2 things. You turn into a demon-like mutant, or you would become a super soldier. And that choice is determined by the subject's morality. That was why people like Sarge began turning into those demons, and it explains why John was never targeted in the first place. Now Sarge's, I won't say sudden turn to being evil because there were hints here and there, did provide for a more lively ending. I do feel it still felt a tad forced, but to see the 2 most efficient, the 2 best, and now the 2 outcomes of the C24 battling against one another provided one of the better segments in the film. Then add to that the BFG, there is a hint of some Doom in there.
Holy shit.
Okay then, so the overall verdict. I'd say it's a 3 or a 4 at best. And I'll be brutally honest, I'll be surprised with myself if I watch the film again within the next 10 years or so. Therefore, 3 out of 10. I would not recommend buying this movie, I would not recommend watching this movie, and I would not recommend watching your friend's copy of the movie. Maybe if you're drunk and can pop open a beer or two, scratch that, 5 or 6 actually, you can enjoy it then. But I stress, maybe. You might get a few laughs. I feel a little bad for Karl, but to be honest, after recently watching some of his other stellar work, such as Dread, which I would highly recommend to absolutely anyone, go and watch it. I think it's safe to say Karl won't be worrying too much about an appearance for a sequel. And to think this was near the beginning of Dwayne Johnson's acting career, it's insane to look back and see how far he's come. For all of its disappointing aspects, the film does build some tension in the beginning, and the fight between Sarge and Reaper was one of the better segments throughout the film. Now, aside from the BFG and the chainsaw, which were clear call-outs to the games, we did get a few minutes or so of a first-person shooter sequence that was clearly thrown in for the fans. And whilst I can appreciate that, it just felt a bit off. Now, saying that I wouldn't remove it, it was still better than a large portion of the rest of the film, but I just want to know, where the fuck did Sam go after injecting her brother? You're telling me she somehow navigated the rest of that station without running into one of those demons that Reaper came across? Get out. Just leave. In the end, it could have been a bit worse, but it should have been far better. If we ever get a reboot or a new entry, it's one of the films that could actually do with a brand new reboot and not all the classics that they keep trying to cash in on. Well, if they do it right. Please. Cheers. Now, they were my thoughts on the Doom movie. How did you feel about it? Did you think it was as much of a disappointment as I did? Or were you happy with the film's outcome? Let me know down in the comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the review. And I'll see you on the next one.
We're not doing anything like this.
Then what the fuck is that?
It must be a genetic mutation. Something environmental or viral.